Hey, Rob here. How you doing? I know it's a really snowy New England day today, but I just want to continue this conversation that we've been talking about. At least I've been talking about, and hopefully you've been listening on careers in the sports industry, especially for your kids and your students that are in high school or maybe college, maybe just a little bit after college, entering high school. That probably play athletics or probably part of their high school team or their youth team, and especially the high school kids that are exploring what they're going to do next in college. Are they going to play in college? Where they're going to go to college? What are they going to study in college? And a lot of those questions we've all had as a parent of four children. Where are my kids going to go to college? So I faced it as a parent as well, and I hear all the time, whether it's on LinkedIn or Facebook or just family and friends or strangers that reach out to me on LinkedIn that ask me, hey, could you talk to my son or could you talk to my daughter to give them a little advice? I have been doing that for the last couple of years. Of course, I wrote a book, How to Land a Dream Job If Your Dad Doesn't Own the Team, which are practical tips. But anyways, in regards to this, and it's a painful, I know, for parents, and the uncertainty when your kid comes to you and your child comes to you and says, hey, I want to study sports in college. And most parents, most of the time, did not come from that background, or their perception of the sports industry is very, very narrow or the perception is, we don't know, but what they're thinking is very narrow in a sense of there's only a few jobs really in the industry. You know, how many general managers are there? How many head coaches are there? You know, how many presidents of the teams are there? How many people on SportsCenter are there? But what you're seeing is the tip of the iceberg. You're seeing the visibility, what people can see out there in the marketplace, and what the perception is it's that iceberg theory, right? You got the top up here, then you have whatever's underneath. The majority, 99% of it, is hidden underneath. The sports industry is larger than the auto industry. It is massive. Any subject that you study in college can apply in any area that you're interested in, whether you're an architect, whether you want to be an attorney, whether you're into math and numbers and finance and marketing, whether you're an entrepreneur, technology, every single piece of those interests and those career directions do point to and can point to the sports industry. So what I do is what I've been trying to do here and have been doing for the last couple of years has been helping navigate those waters through assessments, through discovery, through development, and then through live events and actually hands-on experiences. And all of this has evolved. It's evolved through just kind of going out there and helping. And it has eventually evolved into a little bit more of a sophisticated process that I have learned along the way as I helped kids land jobs in the industry. But my goal here on this conversation is one-on-one conversation with you is to help you navigate those waters and learn a little bit more about it. What I could tell you about it is once we figure out what your student or what your child likes to do for what they're passionate about, what interests them, finding out a little bit more about their creativity, their leadership skills, their communication skills. Naturally, you could tell that by kids 15, 16, 17 years old. You could kind of see what they're made up a little bit of and what they're going to kind of progress to. It's introverted, extroverted. All of those things matter in this equation. So we try to take those 4 steps and those 4 pillars that I've learned along the way, is that assessment, matching that up with the discovery. You know, discovery other industries. Here's what your interests are. Here's what your abilities are right now as a 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, whatever, 20-year-old. And then matching that up with their ambition and their goals and trying to help them build out a game plan and a map for that. So whether that is, what's that college that's the best fit for you? Are you currently playing and you want to continue to play in athletics? What kind of would help you along those ways as far as a higher education? Are you looking to possibly take, if you're not looking that route and you're not really sure and you want to look at a gap year, you know, and what does that mean and how can that help? You know, maybe with the discovery part of it, to understand a little bit more about where direction you want to go into. Then the development, really, which is the one-on-one coaching. It's taking steps 1 and 2, the assessment, and the discovery, and matching that up to now we're going to have a process of coaching you along those ways. What are those soft skills that you need? We have an idea of what you like, what your skill sets are, and we're going to help you build those blocks, leading you ultimately to a college direction or right out into the industry. Or if you're an entrepreneur, supporting you and supporting what your DNA is, because entrepreneurs sometimes aren't always fit for going to college or going to school. So, and you want to jump right into it. And with technology right now, an 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old can. So as a parent, all of this may seem very hard to accept. At the end of the day, you did what you wanted to do. You may have some massive influence by your parents, what they wanted you to do, and you took that path in life. You may not necessarily want that for your kids. You may have learned from that experience and now want to give them the support and the encouragement, and be the cheerleader for them to go out and get it. So this type of program, and it's not even a program that I'm talking about, is what I offer as far as advice. Is to help them navigate those waters a little bit. And the last piece of it is the experience. And I'm a big believer of when I ran my own sports marketing and event business that I didn't care where you went to school. I didn't care what grades you had. I cared what kind of person you are, what kind of ambition do you have, if that ambition is going to match your effort, and what kind of person are you. So all of those things from an employer standpoint matter to me. And that's why I kind of had that light that went off that said everybody has a different path. There's so many different platforms now that you could get the knowledge, you could get the skills, you could get the information that you need. You could even learn how to program on YouTube. So there's resources that are at everybody's fingertips. How do we put all of those resources underneath one umbrella is what I worked on for the last 2 years. Under one umbrella, to frame it in to help those who are seeking a career in sports. And like I said, the experiences we just returned, I'm sure you heard me talk about, if you follow me a little bit, from our trip down to our trip with the University of New Haven sport management students down to Orlando to work the Pro Bowl and visit Orlando Magic, Orlando City, the Golf Channel, and get an immersive experience to see what exactly those cultures are like, what those businesses are like, what opportunities are within those businesses. And it was eye-opening for a lot of our students. And quite honestly, most of the time you don't get that sitting in a classroom. You don't get that sitting certainly in a high school classroom. So anyways, if any of what I'm talking about is of interest to you, and I certainly appreciate your time now for 7.5 minutes that I've been talking of listening to me. If any of this is of interest to you, you can check out my website, robthompsonlive.com. That's all. I hope you learned a little bit something here. There's a lot of resources out there, a lot of availability out there for you to learn and for you to provide support for your students and for your children. But more importantly, support them, encourage them to take their own path. Ultimately, they're going to anyways. Be for watching.